Hello and welcome to AP Psychology. I'm Mrs. Seguin, and today we're talking about the teenager's possibly favorite pastime, sleep. So we're going to talk about sleep and dreaming. This is AP Psychology Unit 2.8. We are almost done, guys. All right, let's get started. Our objective for the day, we're going to discuss aspects of sleep and dreaming. We're going to talk about the neural and behavioral characteristics of the stages of the sleep cycle. There are 4 stages. We're going to talk about the theories of sleep and dreaming, why we sleep, why we dream, and then we're going to talk about symptoms and treatments for sleep disorders. All right, the stages of the sleep cycle. All right, how do our biological rhythms influence our daily functioning? Our bodies have this internal biological clock. It's roughly synchronized in a 24-hour cycle of day and night, right? We call this thing the circadian rhythm. This is our biological clock. It's regular bodily rhythms, for example, of temperature and wakefulness that occur on a 24-hour cycle. The circadian rhythm appears in our daily patterns of body temperature, arousal, or activity, sleeping, and waking. Age and experience can alter these patterns, resetting our biological clock. For example, if you fly in an airplane from, let's say, Texas to Los Angeles, right? You experience what's called jet lag. Jet lag is simply messing up the circadian rhythm. That's all it is it messed up your circadian rhythm, and so you're exhausted for the next several days. As you get older, your biological clock resets. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of older people can actually get up way earlier in the morning and go to bed way later, and they feel completely rested the next day. Young people are so active and our bodies are so different that we have to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day, right? Okay. What is the biological rhythm of our sleeping and dreaming stages? So we cycle through 4 distinct sleep stages. It takes about every 90 minutes. So the whole sleep cycle is about an hour and a half. All right, stage 1. We leave the alpha waves of the awake, relaxed stage. So you lay down, you go to sleep, right? You start to go to sleep, you start to drift off. All right, you're awake still, but your body's relaxed. Those are alpha waves. And you start descending into the irregular brain waves of non-REM stage 1 sleep. Often during this stage, you feel like you're falling or you're floating. As a matter of fact, you can have like jolts and reflex movements as if you're falling. Then you move into stage 2. Stage 2, also known as non-REM, lasts about 20 minutes with its characteristic sleep spindles. We'll get to sleep spindles in a minute. We spend the most time here. So sleep spindles are bursts of rapid, quick brainwave activity. So you go from these very calm, falling, floating sensations to very rapid brainwaves. Okay, then we enter stage 3. This is about 30 minutes long, and we get large, slow delta waves. So think those great big waves on the ocean, just really big, really calm, right? And then we get stage 4. After about an hour of being asleep, so you've gone through stages 1 through 3, right? You begin periods of what we call REM sleep. REM is REM, it stands for rapid eye movement. If you actually watch someone sleeping during REM sleep, their eyes, you can tell they're actually moving under their eyelids. Most dreaming occurs in the REM stage of internal arousal but outward paralysis. The point of the outward paralysis is so you don't act out your dreams. So your body, basically, your voluntary movement shuts down, but your brain is telling a story and you're like in this fantasy world, right? During a normal night's sleep, you go through a progression of several 90-minute cycles, right? NREM sleep, stage 3 sleep shortens, and REM and stage 2 sleep lengthens. And so you'll end up with longer dreams and the longer, quick brainwave activity. Honestly, though, the only way you'll actually remember a dream, so your brain will do the dreams, right? But sometimes you wake up and you don't remember a dream. The only way you'll remember a dream is if you wake up in the middle of REM sleep. So that's an interesting fun fact. All right, theories of sleep and dreaming. This is objective 2. How do biology and environment interact in our sleep patterns? All right, biology, which is our circadian rhythm, as well as our age and our body's production of melatonin, interact with cultural expectations like how many hours should you sleep as a teenager, and what time do you need to be up in the morning to get to work, and how much homework do you have for your teachers that night, which is going to impact how much you sleep, right? So it interacts with our cultural expectations and individuals' behaviors to determine our sleep and wake patterns. So your circadian rhythm, which is your biology, adapts to your cultural expectations and your behaviors. Okay, why do we sleep? It's like the most wonderful feeling, right? Why do we sleep? Sleep may have played an important role in human evolution by keeping people safe during potentially dangerous periods. Humans have not always lived in the most beautiful skyscrapers, civilized societies, right? There was a time where we lived in smaller groups, which is also arguably why we survived. We lived in smaller groups, we lived in tribes, and we hunted for our food, right? The things that want to kill humans mostly come out at night. And so when we lived in smaller huts, or we lived in caves, or wherever we lived, right? This was the time period where humans really needed to be asleep and away so that the things that wanted to kill us wouldn't get to us, right? So it was an evolutionary idea. That's one theory. A second theory is that it helps repair and restore our damaged neurons, which is absolutely true. REM and non-REM sleep help strengthen neural connections that build enduring memories. And then, so this is why, by the way, it's a key. If you study right before you go to sleep, it's really cool if you'll voice record yourself studying and then listen to it as you're going to sleep. Then the REM and then the non-REM 2 sleep will actually help strengthen the neural connections of the thing you just interacted with that build those memories, right? Okay. Sleep also promotes creative problem solving the next day. And during slow wave sleep, or during that stage 3 where it's really slow, long delta waves, the pituitary gland is secreting the human growth hormone, which is necessary for muscle development. So sleep literally makes your body strong, it builds your mind, it allows your body to rest and restore itself, and it kept us safe. All right, now, why do we dream? We usually dream of ordinary events and everyday experiences, mostly involving some anxiety or misfortune. So if you, got into a fight with someone at school, or just an argument, or you feel like a teacher is mad at you, that thing can creep into your brain at night, right? And so you'll have a dream about it. Fewer than 10% of dreams, I know that this is a common misconception among teenagers, but fewer than 10% of dreams have any sexual content whatsoever. It's even less among women. And then most dreams occur during REM sleep. Those that happen during non-REM sleep tend to be vague, fleeting images, so you won't remember those things. What is a dream? That's an important question, right? A dream is a sequence of images, emotions, and thoughts that pass through a sleeping person's mind. Dreams are notable because they feel like a hallucination. There's discontinuities, so there'll be random breaks in the storyline, right? You'll be in your childhood home, and then you'll be at school, or you'll be at work, and it just kind of happens very quickly, and your brain just goes with it. Incongruities. There's certain things that happen in your mind, in your dream, that when you wake up and try to now explain your dream, they make no sense as you're trying to explain them. And for the dreamer's delusional acceptance of the content and later difficulties remembering it. So you will accept the content. You're just like, well, that was my dream. That's what happened. In the dream, you're not protesting it. That's not the point. You normally do that when you're trying to explain it, right? This is the point where you're like, oh, well, that's interesting, and you keep going. And then you later have difficulties remembering your dream. Even if it was vivid and you wake up feeling like you remember every detail, if you actually try to explain your dream, it can be quite difficult. Okay, we have some important vocabulary for the dream world, right? This is a Freudian term, manifest content. Basically, this is the remembered storyline of a dream. So this is the dream you tell, right? When you tell someone about your dream, this is what you tell. The latent content, so that's the manifest content. The latent content is basically the hidden content. It's the underlying meaning of a dream. So Freud did a lot of dream analysis in his psychoanalytic procedures, right? One of the big things that he did was listen to patients tell stories about their dreams. And then his basic theory was that your dreams were your subconscious desires and needs, and it was telling you through your dream space, right? And then we have REM rebound. This is the tendency for REM sleep to increase following REM sleep deprivation. So if you consistently are getting woken up during REM sleep, during your dreaming phase, your body will compensate by putting you in REM sleep very quickly and keeping you there for longer. So you'll still get a similar amount of REM sleep, you'll just stay there longer. Okay, theories of dreams. What are the 5 major views on the functions of dreams, right? What purpose do they serve? Why do we dream? Freud believed it was wish fulfillment. This is that dreams provide a psychic safety valve with manifest content, which is your storyline, acting as a censored version of latent content, which is underlying meaning that gratifies our unconscious wishes. So basically that your dreams fulfill your wishes in a fantasy world, right? The second theory here is information processing. That dreams help us sort out the day's events and consolidate them in memory. So essentially that your brain is running a computer program through the dream that puts all of your files into a memory storage. Then we get physiological function. This is the third theory of dreams, why we dream. Basically that regular brain stimulation may help develop and preserve the neural pathways in the brain. So it's meant that dreams their purpose is physiological, that it is to protect and preserve the brain. The fourth is neural activation, that the brain attempts to make sense of neural static, because remember, neurons are sending electric signals, right? And electric signals have static. So that neural static, by weaving it into a storyline, basically it's a bunch of random, senseless electrical waves that are just, let's just make sense of it. And so that's what your brain is trying to do. And then the fifth is cognitive development, that your dreams reflect your level of development. Have you ever wondered, what is a baby dreaming about when they're smiling? Or what does a puppy dream about, right? Because they dream. What do they dream about? They're so little, they can't have any memories, really. Okay, most sleep theorists agree that REM sleep and its associated dreams actually do serve an important function. Because with the REM rebound and your body constantly needing to have a certain amount of REM sleep, and for your body going, well, I didn't get it last night, I need it now, right? And that doesn't just happen in humans, that happens in other species. And so they use the idea of the REM rebound, the fact that it even exists, as an idea that they definitely do serve a certain function, a special function, and an important function. We just don't fully know what it is. And it may be that they serve multiple functions. Who knows? All right, sleep disorders. Third objective. How does sleep loss affect us? And what are the major sleep disorders? You know how sleep loss affects you. Every day y'all come to school tired. Sleep deprivation causes fatigue, irritability. It impairs concentration, productivity, memory consolidation. It can also lead to eventual depression, obesity, joint pain, a suppressed immune system, and slowed performance. So, get your sleep. Sleep is important. All right, some sleep disorders. We have insomnia, which is basically you keep waking up in the middle of sleep. Narcolepsy, which is sudden uncontrollable sleepiness or lapsing into REM sleep. We have sleep apnea, which is the stopping of breathing while asleep. Night terrors, which is high arousal and the appearance of being terrified. This is found mainly in children. The non-REM 3 sleep disorder is found mainly in children where they have night terrors. Sleepwalking, this is another non-REM 3 disorder, also found mainly in children. And then sleep talking, basically your brain is just communicating. Okay, some of the ways that we deal with these particular sleep disorders. When you're dealing with insomnia or narcolepsy, insomnia, one of the biggest things is they give people melatonin or they'll use some kind of medication. When you're dealing with sleep apnea, if you've ever heard of a CPAP machine, basically what that means is they have a mask that they put on that helps to keep their air pathways open so that they can continue breathing, because the stopping of breathing is keeping them awake. Others are caused by an overpresence of a neurotransmitter or an underpresence of a neurotransmitter and can be helped by stabilizing those chemicals in the body. All right, in this lesson, we learned different aspects of sleep and dreaming. We learned the stages of the sleep cycle and what happens during each stage. We learned the theories of sleep. Why do we sleep? Why do we dream? What functions do they serve? And we learned about some symptoms and treatments of sleep disorders, as well as just not getting enough sleep. All right, I will see you in class tomorrow. Bye.